Hello and welcome to another episode of Strategic Gaming. My name is Mac Taylor, here to talk to you about Survivor Vanuatu, Season 9 of Survivor here as we trek through every season of Survivor, just kind of giving my takes on a rewatch and strategy and all that fun stuff. So we start out here in Phase 1. We get two tribes consisting of men versus women, just like the Amazon, except we have more people this time. We have two tribes of 9. We got Lepevi, or the men's tribe, which consists of Chris, John P., Brady, John K., Rory, Bubba, Sarge, Brooke, and Chad. Then we got the women's tribe, which is Yesser, consists of Eliza, Dolly, Amy, Scout, Twyla, Leanne, Mia, Lisa, and Julie. And we get, right off the bat, it doesn't exactly look great, because they go for a Vanuatu island tradition, where the men are given like this rite of passage, drinking this drink, and doing this sort of, a ritual with pig's blood and all this other things, and they get to, the men are treated on the high level or the women are ignored. And already it kind of puts the women as the underdogs or whatever, and really does kind of make the men the targets here with the way they're doing this. And Rory, though, it is funny that, the people of Vanuatu are darker complected, and Rory's, the only African-American on his tribe, and he does not get, they don't point spears at him. And he's like, well, that's good. At least I know I can fit in here. And basically the men are offered a chance to retrieve the sacred stone from the top of this pig-greased pole. And Brady gets the stone, and it immediately starts raining, which is like some kind of omen. So we get like a dark, rainy night, and basically they have to, in the middle of the night, find their way to their beaches, which is odd that, because they do this ritual, it takes all damn day, so they have to go and kind of trek their way through the jungle, which is not exactly fun to do. And the girls are at odds about whether they should rest or just go to the camp. And on the men's side, Rory's already kind of getting bossy about how they should go about things. But both tribes, they find their camp. And, with the workload, the younger girls on Yesser, a bit lazier, which this does... Take two. This does happen most of the times when you got younger and older. The older ones are going to work a little harder than the younger tribes people. It's just like Samburu all over again. And Scout very upset that the older women are doing the work, because Scout has a bad knee and is still doing more work. And Eliza, with her constant talking, is annoying Twyla and Scout, so they really don't like Eliza. And then on the men's tribe, well, Chad is an amputee. He doesn't have one of his legs. So, and Chris is immediately, and this was my first thought of like, well, that it can't take that guy to the end. Like, he'll win the jury vote for sympathy alone. So we get like a mud crawl, puzzle solving, balance, kind of fire immunity. Yes, sir, wins immunity. The women win immunity because Chris took forever on the balance beam. Like, Chris just could not get that balance beam. And so the guys are talking, well, Chris did a bad job and he should probably go home because of that. Everyone's talking about that. Sarge, though, he would rather target the younger guys because he doesn't want the younger guys to dominate the season. And Brady even talks about wanting to target Rory for being really annoying. The vote comes out 5-3-1. Brooke First guy voted off, and I know I haven't said anything about Brooke because we really didn't get much Brooke. Again, for our first boot, we didn't really get much of him. I think he may have had 2 confessionals. But either way, Brooke goes home. Really, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't make any mistakes. It's just he's the younger guy, and that's who Sarge, Chris, Chad, they wanted to target. And then, is this a is this a questionable move? And cut. Cut again. Is this a questionable move? Taking out a young, strong asset. We'll talk more about that as we get a little further down the road here. The men are rough without fire, and they just can't seem to get the fire together. And on the women's tribe, Dolly's kind of having a breakdown. Just about, the bad, rough night. And John, JP, and John K., John P., and Brady, they feel on the outs. They feel like they're going to get targeted. They're the younger guys left. And, things are not looking great for them. And Bubba even tells JP he's a threat. Which you never want to tell anyone they're a threat, because then you're making them think, oh, it's do or die, and that could cause them to be able to flip a vote, and you never want to give anyone the opportunity to do that. So I think it was very bad on Bubba's part. So we get a move across the beam, like you're trying to go across the beam through your tribe mates without knocking anybody over. Get that kind of reward for comfort. And yes, sir, the women win reward again. And Rory's upset because the women kind of celebrate, do a little dance about how but they're happy. They've won a reward, and you really can't. I don't understand why he's so mad about it. Let them celebrate. They won. You would probably do it too. And the young girls are kind of versing the old girls on the girls' tribe, just like it's the older men versus the younger men on the men's tribe. And Julie kind of the flip in between the older and younger girls. Julie's kind of liked by both sides. And Twyla really wants to form a 5-person between herself and, Lisa and Scout and Julie and Amy. And the men are like, wow, we got the spirit stone from the tribe, but it's not working. We haven't won shit. And we get a puzzle retrieval and, assembly immunity. And LePevy wins immunity. They're not going to go to tribal twice in a row. And they're happy, so excited they don't have to, cannibalize each other. And the tribe and the women are turning on Eliza. Eliza very much pissing everybody off. And now they also don't like Dolly either, because they think, they should take Dolly out, or they should take Eliza out. Maybe Eliza's just the easy one, and they should take someone like Dolly out. And Eliza doesn't know where she wants to vote. So immediately going into this vote, we don't know where the hell it's going to go. But by a vote of 5-4, Dolly voted out due to Eliza's swing vote. Final thoughts on Dolly. She had the breakdown. And I think that really put her in some bad light. And then people thought that she was trying to make moves and just kind of cut her. It surprised me that she went here, because I really didn't see anything bad about her game. But nevertheless, she's out 17th in Vanuatu. So then the next episode, Eliza really under fire for that Dolly vote, which, I mean, did you expect Eliza to not try to save herself? It seemed kind of dumb to be mad at her for basically not going home. And Rory really not contributing around the guys' camp as much. And, it's that classic thing. If you're not contributing as much as everybody else, they're not going to be happy with you. We see this almost every season with various results. And it really is Sarge against Rory here about, what the hell you're supposed to be doing with labor. And JP really tries to use that to be like, oh, well, if you don't like Rory, we could boot Rory, and I'll take Rory's spot in the Alliance. I don't really care that much about John Kay or Brady, but, you put me in that spot, and I'll be loyal to you. I'll help you work. And that's really actually very smart of JP to really want to slide into that role. I think it was very, very smart of him. He really is actively trying to play the game, and I really do like his style. He's just not in a very good spot. And Twyla is getting into a fight about Mia, basically Mia doesn't like Twyla, wants Twyla gone, thinks she's kind of worthless, and Twyla kind of feels the same way about Mia. And the young girls, they want to reel in Eliza and get Eliza to vote with them. We get an obstacle reward and immunity for fishing gear. And basically, they're going to do individual immunity. Both tribes are actually going to be voting somebody out. So, the individual immunity. So Lepevi wins reward, which is fishing gear. Then the men play for individual immunity, which John Kay wins. He gets to go to Yasser because he will give one of them immunity. Which, is John Kay the best strategist to send there? No. So John's basically trying to gather info, but not as successfully as maybe someone like Chris or Bubba would. So Eliza, she's scrambling. She really does feel alone. She wants that immunity necklace. And while Mia, Lisa, and Julie are talking to John, Eliza comes up. She does not let John get away from her so she could try to get that immunity necklace. And basically there's a lot of talk whether it's going to be Twyla or Mia going home for the girls. And Brady and JP, they really want to make this Rory vote happen. They want to get Rory out. And Chris is like, no, God, no. Because Sarge is like, well, maybe we'll take out Rory and we'll keep JP. And Chris is like, no, Sarge, no. That's very bad. Let's not do that. Let's stick to the plan. Why are we diverting already? We've only had one vote. Stick together. Don't go away from the plan. Sarge is like, oh, okay. But I think I really rather do Rory and said, no, Sarge, no. Stick to the 5, Sarge. Come on now. Stick to the 5. Do not divert from the plan. Well, okay. But really, I just like, no. Stick to the plan. Chris is very much like just hammering it back down. No. So the vote comes out 5-3. JP voted out. Chris got his way. The 5 stuck together. Now, is JP the right move instead of Rory? I think so. I think, honestly, yes. Because I think Rory is okay at challenges. I think there's some votes later that are questionable, but I think the JP one, you could argue that you're voting out all your strongest people, but I think even the older guys have assets in these challenges. And John Kay comes into the girls' tribal, and he says, hey, I'm not going to ruffle feathers, which is why I would have rather someone else had this immunity to give away and tried to shake it up a little bit. But instead, he just gives the immunity to Amy, who's in no danger whatsoever. And Amy and Mia proceed to get into an argument with Twyla at tribal. The vote comes out 5-3. Mia voted out because Eliza and Lisa flipped on that vote. Because Eliza went to vote against Twyla, but then Lisa went to vote against Mia. And Eliza's upset, and Julie's upset, but, Mia gone. It was as a blindside. It was a really cool blindside. Like, some of these other votes have been kind of straightforward, and it was really cool to see, Mia like, what? Whoa, me? It's pretty fun. Final thoughts on Mia. I really didn't get much from her either. She just kind of, couldn't keep her mouth shut fighting with Twyla, and that put her in the hot seat. And because of that, she went home. And then JP, he was just in a bad spot from the start. I really don't think he was a bad game player. I think he was smart trying to get Rory's spot, but Chris was just a much better talker that he was able to just immediately undo everything that was done by JP. Like, so JP he couldn't outplay Chris. And so, next episode, John K., very upset at the tribe dynamics. Like, how dare these older guys take us younger guys out? They're jealous of us. I'm not really sure it comes down to that. I think it's just, they don't want to be the ones voted out. Like, you would do the same thing to them if the tables were turned, but the tables are not turned. They even call themselves like the Fab Five. And Brady's like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to try to catch some fish, become the valuable one. The strategy everyone has when they're on the bottom. And he ends up coming back with really tiny fish. No luck. Really not a Richard Hatch or a Rupert in this situation here. They get a memory reward challenge for, the people coming in to, show them how to live better, what to eat, everything like that. Yes Sir wins the reward. So, LePevy again, not really getting much going here. Bubba is missing home. He is really missing his kids, his wife. And Rory is, like, getting on everyone's nerves more. He's, like, really digging his grave, while Brady is, like, kind of doing the whole John thing, where he's like, I've got to, like, flip this shit. I cannot. If we lose, it's probably me. So, I got to figure something out here. And, it's really good to see people, even if they're in danger, not just being like, oh, woe is me, I'm in danger. They're trying to flip the vote, and I really like to see that. No one's sulking. So we get a tile puzzle immunity, and Rory has, like, calling out for, where the puzzle pieces to go. But Brady and John are trying to take it over. They're like, no, we're not listening to Rory. We're doing this. We're going to show you guys. We don't need Rory. He's useless. We're going to be the ones to win this challenge. And because they won't listen to Rory, they lose. Yes Sir wins the immunity. And Brady pretty much shot himself directly in the foot because by a vote of 5-2, Brady is the one voted out here. And just like I said, if he listens to Rory, he can maybe try to pin it on John K. But no, him and John K, they want to prove that they're the alphas and that they can do this and they need them. No, and because of that, you went against the grain and it failed, and now you're going, like, there's no way to save yourself. Brady should have known better than to, be so arrogant in this competition. Because if Rory does call all the shots and you listen to him and you fail the challenge, you could be like, hey, Rory really blew that for us. Whereas now, since you took over the challenge and you lost badly, it's you who's held accountable for that loss. So, again, I think that was a very bad move, and it definitely cost Brady the game here. So, he's the fifth person out, and the end of phase 1. So join us next time for phase 2. We are going to go from 13 to 8. Again, I'm Mac Taylor. Thank you guys. See you next time on Strategic Gaming.